Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Mr. Speaker, honored that you'd make the time to chat with us here at the RNC. I want to dive right into it. We all know that there's a lot of pressure on Biden right now, and we'll get into some more of that, to step down from his own party, from his own side. No matter what, it seems right now the place where Democrats are going to, perhaps we could call it their Maginot Line, and hopefully it will be about just as effective. They think that they'll be able to stop the unified government by getting a House majority, and they're going to throw everything they have into it. Are you seeing that shift of focus and funds already, and how are you going to blunt it?
We are beginning to see it already. Great to be with you guys, by the way.
Thank you for being with us.
What an epic week. We're having a great time here. That is not going to dampen our spirits or change our strategy at all. We've been working nonstop. Guys, I've done events in 144 cities now in 31 states in the last 7 months. We're going everywhere where we have our incumbents, even in the tight reelects, and where we have the people that we've recruited to challenge these seats and flip them from blue to red. All the polling is saying we're in good shape to do that. We don't take anything for granted. We never will. We run like we're 10 points behind. We set fundraising records for the second quarter because everyone's motivated. But this does change the game a little bit, because now the big Hollywood mogul types and the big money is turning from the presidential, resigning themselves to the fact that Trump gets reelected. And now they're going to try to build a file wall in the House, as you said. So the challenge is greater, but the game plan is exactly the same.
We know there's been a lot of gerrymandering in the House over the years, both directions, different states. How many, when you look at the overall map, how many addressable or winnable seats do you see on the board that you even compete in either side? How many are out there?
So the number has dwindled because of gerrymandering, redistricting. You know, we're gone are the days where we'd have a 40 or 45 seat majority. It's just not possible anymore. The Cook Report is one pretty good arbiter of this. We all rate the districts. An R plus 12 is my district. That means it's a Cook rating, right? They looked at the race this fall, and they said there are 210 safe Republican seats, 203 safe Democrat seats, 22 seats in the middle. They assessed that 11 lean right and 11 lean left.
How wild is that only 22 seats out there are really in play at this point in time?
It's a remarkable thing about how politics have developed and how the districts have been redrawn and the legislatures have gotten so involved. But that's the reality on the ground. So we're fighting tooth and nail for every inch on the field, literally. And we believe that we can achieve a 10 or 12 or 15 seat majority, but it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work to do it. We're playing in close to 40 races. We have incumbents who are in tight reelects, but they should be fine. And then we have these other seats that we think we can flip, and I think this is the year for us to do it.
Mr. Speaker, you know, one of the big areas of concern for our audience and for everybody, I think, who is paying enough attention to it is the national debt, right? We're at about 34 trillion and change. Maybe it's already hit 35 trillion. I got to keep up.
It's very close.
It's very close to 35 trillion. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We all know that. Government is spending not just a lot of money, but too much money. I know that we're always limited to the possible in politics, but if you have a House majority, certainly spend with the Senate and Trump presidency, spending is a place where you can really get things done. Where are the priorities for either additional spending, and also where would you look or how would you look to begin to rein in what is clearly an out-of-control debt? I don't think anybody can disagree with that.
It's not a sustainable trajectory, and that means the greatest national security threat is not China, Russia, Iran, or North Korea. It's the debt. I mean, that's what the Pentagon will tell you. That's what we all know intuitively. We have to fix this. The way to do it is to use that word you just said, priorities, right? We have to prioritize national defense right now because we're in the most dangerous era since World War II, domestically and, of course, internationally, because of the weakness that Biden has put on the world stage. So you have to do that first. You got to secure the border. You got to take care of your country. But then also you look at a combination of spending cuts, tax cuts, at the same time. You have to juice the economy. The way you do that is you reduce the regulatory burden, and you reduce the tax burden on the people who are the job creators, the innovators, and the risk takers, those in the economy, to get the economy going. We did this already, remember? After the first 2 years of the Trump administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world, not just the U.S., because we implemented those policies. We'll get right back to it. So you have to have a pro-growth agenda, and you have to cut spending at the same time. It's not only possible, it's necessary now. We have to do it.
By the grace of God, President Trump is okay, and we're going to be able to watch him speak tonight.
Yes.
Saturday, I think everyone out there's heart stopped watching what occurred. Where were you? I'm curious on your experience that day, because you're just a few steps away from being president right now. with what's going on with Biden and Kamala and the succession. But also, how in the world does the Secret Service head still have her job? Can you believe, as more of these details have come out, that she is still employed?
Let me address the second part first. It's absolutely outrageous. I called for the resignation of the Secret Service Director Cheadle yesterday, and today I called the White House and I told President Biden through his people they won't let me talk to him today. I can't imagine why, that he should fire her. He needs to. The buck stops ultimately.
What's the response, by the way, when you call the White House and you say she's clearly not going to do the right thing and resign? Biden won't fire anybody, but you call the White House and you say she has to be fired. You're not talking to Biden himself. What do they say?
I say you need to communicate this to the president on behalf of the Speaker of the House. I call you into good faith. I always do. I think this would be good for him politically.
I
for
agree.
crying out loud.
We said
Show
it
some
on the air.
leadership.
He whiffed on that, and he whiffed on a real message of unity and Americanism right after the shooting. I don't know if this was an assassination.
Unbelievable.
It's outrageous.
You probably would have the same perspective if a bullet had buzzed Biden's head. It's a failure of the Secret Service, no matter who the person
is. It's a nonpartisan issue.
Correct.
It must be. And to that point, I've set up a task force. It will be bipartisan. We're going to strike with precision and get this done and get the facts to the American people. We have to, because conspiracy theories are flourishing right now.
No doubt.
Now, I know you perhaps don't want to tip your hand to the other side here, but I am curious to the degree you are comfortable and willing to speak to it. What's better for the Democrats in these tight House races? Biden stays, Biden goes.
I think at this point, they're looking at the same odds you are at Vegas.
Yes.
I think they're ready for him to go because it has a terrible down ballot effect. There won't be as big of a turnout on their side. They're terrified about that. I think that they don't know what to do. I mean, guys, it was such an interesting phenomenon on Capitol Hill last week. I had 2 whole days unimpeded where I could walk through the hallways without being accosted by media sticking microphones and cameras in my face. Where are they? Oh, they're chasing the Democrats for a change. They had to introduce themselves to our Democrat colleagues. They never ask them tough questions. I called Hakeem Jeffries, my friend, the Democrat leader. I said, "How's it feel, bro?" So I got a little reprieve. We kind of like this. But look, it's a serious problem, and that's why they're in such panic. They do not know. They don't have a viable plan B. They run Kamala and whomever she puts on that ticket. We like those odds, too.
So I asked the question. I'm glad that you have called the White House and said, the Secret Service director has to be gone. Where were you Saturday, and what was your reaction to what you have seen come out since?
I had a rare Saturday. I was actually home in Louisiana. We were preparing for this because I was chairing the convention. I'm going through the notes. We have that on in the background, and I've been to so many of these rallies, as you all have. I know the speech, but one of my kids gasps and said, "Dad." And we looked up, and it happened, and we stood there frozen in the living room for 20 minutes. As soon as we realized that he was okay, I immediately thought of the story of George Washington, the bulletproof president we used to call him.
Ben Carson came on and told
Did
us
he talk
that
about
story
it?
this
Because
week.
I was talking with him about
Yeah.
that. It's remarkable. And the thing is, and I told Dr. Carson this, if you go back and look at the story, it happened less than 50 miles from where Donald Trump was, his assassination was attempted. Also in July, also in Pennsylvania. I mean, you could say that's coincidence. I say it's providence. And I think President Trump is thinking about it the same way. His head and his heart are in exactly where we would want them to be right now. And I think this speech tonight's going to be epic.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Mr. Speaker, appreciate you making the time for us here. It's a blessed week. It's been great for an RNC, but it actually has just been great for the country, too, that we all dodged a bullet in a sense.
We did.
As a nation.
It's not an overstatement. And you hear 2 major themes here. Unity is the main theme, and we feel that, and it's electric, and you can feel it. You feel it out in the country right now, in our party and beyond, but also providence, both of those things. And it's a really important time to be an American and a great time to be a Republican.
Mr. Speaker, please come back again soon. We're going to have a lot to talk to you about here with the upcoming House battle, because we think that's where
The money's going.
The real
You're
fight,
right.
the real
You're
battle
right.
is. So
keep praying. We'll keep working.
Got to stay on that one. It takes a confident person to say, I'm going to intentionally, as a CEO of a publicly traded company who can get a big salary, take $1 a year in salary. But my friend, entrepreneur and investor Porter Stansberry has done exactly that. Why did Porter make this decision as the CEO of this very profitable financial research firm to cut his salary all that way? Well, he has a good reason for it. He thinks there's a better way to compensate himself. And why does this matter to you? Well, because he thinks you can do the same. Thousands and thousands of Americans in different full-time roles have become compensated or started to become compensated in this new, not so well-known currency form. But a lot of people, most people, don't know very much about it. Porter's hoping to change that. It's critical that you understand how America's new money works. Check out Porter's latest detailed presentation online at secretcurrency2024.com. You're not going to see this opportunity discussed anywhere else. Go to secretcurrency2024.com. That's secretcurrency2024.com.